Why is it that two people can start with the exact same level of talent, yet one ends up owning the skyline while the other is stuck checking their bank balance before buying a coffee? Is the system actually rigged, or is there a psychological cheat code you've just never been told? Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that every dollar you spend is a tiny employee working for someone else, while every dollar you save is just a lazy one doing nothing for you. We are going to look at the actual, scientific feedback loops that make extreme wealth almost inevitable once you hit a specific tipping point. It isn't just about having a high salary, it's a concept of cumulative advantage. Think of it like a snowball at the top of a mountain. At first, you're struggling to pack the snow together with your bare hands. It's cold, it's slow, and it feels slightly pointless. But once that ball starts rolling, physics takes over. The larger the ball gets, the more surface area it has to catch even more snow. By the time it reaches the bottom, it's an unstoppable force of nature. In the world of money, this translates to the cost of capital. If a wealthy person wants to buy a building, the world competes to give them the lowest interest rates because they are seen as a safe bet. Meanwhile, if a regular person wants a small loan, they pay high interest because they are deemed a risk. The wealthy are essentially paid to be wealthy, while everyone else is charged a fee just for trying to get started. It sounds unfair because it is, but the real secret isn't just in the bank account. It is in the biological and social safety net that allows for massive, calculated risks that most people simply couldn't survive. When failure doesn't mean hunger, you can afford to be bold. This momentum builds a foundation where the rich don't just win, they stop being able to lose. When you don't have to worry about where your next meal comes from, your brain actually functions differently. There is a documented mental tax associated with having very little. When you are stressed about bills, the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning is essentially hijacked by survival mode. This makes it physically harder to make the rational, long-term investments that build wealth. It is like trying to play a high-stakes game of chess while someone is shouting in your ear. Now, imagine a hypothetical world where everyone started with the exact same amount of money. Within a few decades, we would likely see the same wealth gap reappear because of how information travels. People who already have status exist in circles where high-level information flows freely. They hear about opportunities before they hit the news. They have access to mentors who have already solved the game. This creates a social loop where success breeds more success. But there is a deeper side to this logic. The principle that money earned from investments tends to grow faster than the economy as a whole. This means people who work for a living can almost never catch up to people whose money works for them. It's like a race where you are on foot, and your opponent is on a high-speed train. You might be the fastest runner in the world, but the physics of the train are simply superior. This leads to a winner-take-all dynamic where once someone is perceived as the best, they get all the opportunities, leaving everyone else to fight for the scraps. So the real question isn't, why do the rich get richer? It's, what happens when momentum replaces effort? Once wealth reaches a certain size, it stops behaving like money and starts behaving like gravity. It pulls in opportunities, protection, and leverage without asking for permission. At that point, success is no longer about working harder, it's about staying in motion. And that's the uncomfortable truth. Most people aren't losing because they're lazy or untalented. They're losing because they're fighting physics while others are riding it. Understanding this doesn't magically make you rich. But it does change how you play the game, because once you see the slope of the mountain, you stop blaming the snowball and start asking how to get it rolling.